Alrighty, everybody, it is currently Friday, April 25th, 2025. I know, everyone's freaking out right now. Everyone's scrambling around their room going, what's going on, you know? This is like the modern day version of the FDR fireside chats. I know everyone, your whole family's huddled around your big giant flat screen in your living room in your shitty $500 apartment that 7 people live in. You're all gathered around listening to it. You know, what's he going to say? What great declarations is he going to say? And so I know this Friday episode is throwing you guys off a little bit. It's not an emergency episode, all right? I didn't declare war on anyone. Not yet. Not yet, by the way. And I do need to declare war on someone soon. You know, I'm thinking Yemen right now. That's a fun target. That's the safe pick right now. You know, that's like a Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow type pick. It's like I know it's going to be good. It might not be the best ever, but I know it's going to be good. I know it's going to be a solid pick. Maybe not Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence is like the right analogy. It's more like a 21st overall type of pick. Almost like I want to say Kenny Pickett, because people thought Kenny Pickett was going to be like just kind of okay, and so I think that's what that is. You know, choosing to go to war with Yemen, it's the safe pick. You know, it's like either way, even if he does turn out to be bad, you can be like, well, look how good he was. And so Yemen is the safe pick. You know, you can be like, you can look at the Houthis and be like, they had a lot of potential. I know it didn't work out. We wiped them out too quickly, but it was a good look at how scary they were. You know what I mean? They were Pirates of the Caribbean. They were jumping from boat to boat. They had Jack Sparrow. What's like the equivalent Arab name of Jack Sparrow? But anyway, the Houthis were jumping from boat to boat, decided to go to war with them, wiped them out too quickly. America wasn't satisfied, but today's episode is kind of the opposite of a Stoned episode. This is that was a little hint right there. It was a little sneak peek. That was the trailer right there. That was not even the trailer, like when they post like just like a picture from it, right? Like just like a picture from the movie they're putting out. That's what that was. But this is not an emergency episode. This is a Stoned episode. I'm not very high right now. I'm more just feeling like kind of a body thing type going on, you know? My head isn't that fucked up. See, that's the thing about me getting high is that I'm so dumb normally, or I'm in that kind of high state of mind all the time that like when I do get high, it's like nothing's new. I've been to this exact place before, right? It's like if you played in like TD Garden and then you went to go play in MSG, you're like, I've played in TD Garden my whole life. Like I know what's going on. I know this realm. I'm comfortable in it. I know what's going on here. But that is what this episode is. I think I'm gonna call it the Stoned-Sode. I think that, or maybe the Stony-Sode. I don't know. It's nonsense either way, and it doesn't ultimately mean anything. And that's where I can kind of get when I'm high sometimes. I can kind of, especially because I haven't jacked off in 2 days. That is, I just got to come right out and say it. I have not jacked off in 2 days. But and when I haven't for a while, I'm bipolar. So like this is what being bipolar must feel like. Because I'm either at like the lowest end, like the lowest, like, fuck man, I turn Irish basically. That's what happens to me. I turn like an Irish guy during like right as the potato famine was starting, not like mid potato famine, because then you're just a fucking crazed animal. But like right before, or like right after the potato famine happened, like that's when I jerk off. That's one of my 2 moods. It's me just life means nothing. It's all pointless anyway. Look at that. There's barely any potatoes in the ground. What am I going to do without potatoes? What is life without potatoes? And then the other mood I get in is I could be a Marine. That's the other mood. I think, you know, I think the guys who fought in World War I are pussies, quite frankly. That's the other mood. I think Rangers, Navy SEAL. What's the fucking difference? I don't even want to be in those guys, you know. Pause. But wait, that's not a pause. But anyway, it's like I don't need what's past Ranger or Navy SEAL or whatever. I want to be the step past that. Because, you know, it's not because I want to like serve the country more or like be a better soldier. It's because I know the Navy SEALs and the Rangers would be too easy for me. That's the other mood I get in when I'm high. And that's why we're talking about invading Yemen right now. And speaking of invading Yemen, let me get my phone real quick. This is my first ad ever. My first ad from anything ever for this podcast. I didn't get paid a lot for it, but you know, a paycheck's a paycheck. No matter what, you got to be excited. You got to be happy to take it. You know, be a good little boy. Let them slap you in the mouth with the dick and just take the fucking ad. Take whatever money they give you. All right. I got it up they emailed it to me. I got it up on my phone. This episode is brought to you by the Israeli Defense Forces, or as Gen C has so kindly nicknamed us, the IDF. Do you want to travel the world while protecting the motherland that God promised you? Are both of your parents Jewish? That's they capitalized both in this one. Do you love dancing? Then you should join the IDF. The IDF is on a mission to stabilize the Middle East. That's fun. You know, those guys are getting rowdy. They've always been, for a number of years, really, ever since the Ottoman Empire. Like the Ottomans, those guys were kind of white, so they were smart enough to keep the region in check. But as soon as those guys left, you know, it really, and I'm talking about like the 1800s when they were like really starting to fall a little bit. You know, ever since those guys left, it's been a fucking, you know, it's been hog wild over there. They've been flying planes into buildings and stuff. That definitely wasn't George Bush, right? Like they flew a plane into Building 7. That's why it collapsed, right? But anyway, back to the fucking ad. The IDF is on a mission to stabilize the Middle East, all right, and bring an end to radical Islamic terrorists that are trying to take your freedom, all right? And that's what these people want most in the world. They don't, you know, they think, some people think that like Allah's mission is like, or that these people aren't powerful enough to carry out Allah's mission like worldwide and like dominate the earth as is their plan, but I think they are, and the IDF agrees with me, which is why I chose to take this ad, by the way. All of these ads, like if I was Jewish, I'd be in the IDF right now, right? It's just because I can't, you know, in good conscience, sell you guys something that I wouldn't do myself. And so I think, you know, I would join the IDF if I could, but I'm not one of God's chosen people. I'm just a low-down little goyim, all right? I'm just a little grub crawling around in the ground. Well, you guys, fortunately, right, good on you guys, right? I'm just happy you guys have that. Well, you guys are there, you know, in your promised land, right? Literally borderline Eden on earth, right? The land that was promised to you, the land that you were always destined to live in. Well, you guys are living there, working your way towards God and going to heaven. I'll go to hell, but I'm just glad you guys could go to heaven, right? And if I know anything about religion, is that that's what makes religion popular. Is like having like a closed, you know, sectioned off group of people, like an in-group and an out-group, right? Like that's what makes religion really work, and like an inherent in-group and an out-group, because obviously religion in and of itself is an in or an out-group. And so it's, you know, it's really important to be like, no, you're inferior to me, you can't join my religion. And so I'm really glad you guys have that going for you. But use promo code INDEPENDENT15 at your local recruiter's office for an automatic promotion to Sergeant First Class. All right, you guys don't know how big of a deal this is. All right, code INDEPENDENT15. I thought it was independence. And speaking of independence, that's what the IDF is doing as well. They're not just bringing an end to the global terror threat that has been, you know, plaguing us for 40, 50 years. Like that thing that's killed how many people? Millions at least 10 to 20 million, maybe like 30 million people. They're not just bringing that to an end. They're bringing a start to Israel's freedom as a country, their right to practice their religion, which is the right one, by the way, their, you know, freedom to practice that and to, you know, have their own country, you know, after all these, you know, thousands and thousands of years of hell they've been through. And so that, you know, is an important part of their mission as well. They're trying to free their country from, you know, the grips of the fascists that control it. So use code independent and Sergeant First Class, by the way, that's a high promotion. That's a high rank. You know, you got a sergeant usually is in charge of a squad of like 2 to 4 people usually. Sometimes you'll get 6. You might get lucky and get 6. And you can use these guys. These guys are like a tool for you to use. Not really, but you can, you know, create relationships with them and then use them as this tool to, you know, bring about the end of like these evil terrorists that live in preschools, by the way. That's what they do. These terrorists, they have like some access to some kind of crazy technology, or they use like their evil Goyim magic and they turn themselves into toddlers. This is true, by the way. This is 100% true. These, you know, Arab, Muslim, extremist terrorists, they turn themselves into little toddlers and then they enroll themselves. They get some member of Hamas or Hezbollah or whatever to pretend to be their parents so that they can get enrolled at this preschool, and then they go to that preschool, and from that preschool they remote view and do other, you know, psychological, supernatural activities in there. Like I said, they're evil, you know, Muslim magic. They do it in there, and they, you know, find targets. They find these innocent people just living in Israel, and they try to kill them. It's what I know it sounds crazy, but it's what they do. It doesn't even sound that great. Like these people, these animals, they can really, they're capable of things you couldn't imagine. But this is an important part I have to read. This is the fine print at the end. Death to Hamas, death to Hezbollah, and death to all non-Jews. God promised us this land 4,000 years ago, and you Goyim shall not defy him. All right. And again, that's code independent 15 for an automatic promotion of first sergeant or sergeant first class, sorry, at any local recruitment office. How about that? These wonderful people over at Israel saw me, just some lowly little fucking, goblin, goyim living in my cage, and they decided to, give me $500 that I can spend on whatever I want. It wasn't technically $500. It was a $500 coupon to Rabbi Shmuley's sex store that he runs with his daughter. But that's worth more than $500, right? That's worth more than that's worth at least $2,000 to $4,000. Like, that's what these people gave me completely for free, with expecting nothing but like that simple little, innocuous, quite frankly, ad. Like, they could have gone. That was a very nice, very reasonable message that they sent out. They didn't even say anything bad about, the Islamic terrorists or the people they're fighting. That's the kind of class, Israel has. And so I'm very glad that they, took this took this chance on me and gave me this ad with no guarantee of return. And I talked with my my handler, as he was called. I think his name, I don't remember what his name was. He worked at like a company called Mossad, maybe something like that. But he worked at that company, and he was emailing me back and forth, and we were talking about what type of sex toys I would get from Rabbi Shmuley's sex store. And it's, there's a wide range on there. There's one that's an exact mold of his penis, which is circumcised, by the way. It's an interesting look. It's an interesting look, to say the least. It's, these are God's chosen people, so whatever he does to them is like, it just proves his love to them, right? Or it just proves how much he loves them. So it's, Rabbi Shmuley's penis isn't deformed. My penis is deformed. If he's God's chosen person, right? If he's part of God's chosen people, then it's his penis that is deformed, or my penis that is deformed. Sorry, Rabbi, not mine. And, I'm just so thankful to these people. I asked about converting over there, and they said no. This was another time I was, interacting with them, talking with them about this ad. And it was like during a Zoom call, and I was talking to them, and they just kind of like squinted their eyes, and like it almost looked like their noses grew a little bit. Maybe it's like a Pinocchio type of thing, where it's like, their nose grows when they lie. And so maybe like they were like just messing with me, being like, no, you can't convert over there. And they were like, you'll never be like us, you're inferior. These guys love to joke around too, but they love joking. There's nothing more on earth that they love than joking, man. It's, they love dancing too. They love that. Look up dancing Israelis, dude. Those guys are always having a great fucking time like that. And you just, I would do this for free. I would have read that ad and, gone on this little tangent I've gone on completely for free. These are some really great people we're talking about, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful that they took a chance on me. If there's one thing I know about Jews, it's that they know how to invest. Am I right? Just kidding, guys. Just kidding, guys. Please. Just kidding. But they're God's chosen people. They're blessed with bigger brains than us, and they have, a greater insight into things than we have. And so I'm thankful that they invested in me. Like I said, usually they invest right. Usually they somehow get their finger right on the dot. And they said that hopefully soon I'll get a sponsorship from a company called Raytheon Technologies. I think they make vapes, or so, I think they make like weed, like the thing you can screw your weed vape into. I think they make that. And so, I'm thankful. Hopefully I'll get into contact with them too. Boeing, the people who make the planes, they were talking about me, talking to those guys, getting an ad done with those guys. And so I'll probably just be promoting like Southwest Airlines, or maybe Delta, or like being like, these planes are like super safe, and like Delta super, it's like might be one of those things, which all of that is true, by the way. Free ad, #free ad. Am I right? #free ad. But, I'm just so thankful to the country of Israel. And quite frankly, I want to talk to the people, you can't see me right now, but the people of Palestine. It's what are we doing here, guys? Come on, let me turn my chair around so I can give these guys a real serious speech right now. And I'm not talking to Hamas or Hezbollah, right? Like, that's a common mistake people make when they're talking about Israel versus Palestine. They talk about, no, it's Hamas is attacking Israel, Hezbollah is attacking Israel. No, Palestine as a whole is attacking Israel. And if you guys don't want to accept that, I think it's because you're Nazis. Right? Like, this is, all the great leaders of all time, Julius Caesar, Napoleon, Genghis Khan. You're not, when a country invades you, it's not just like, the soldiers of that country or the army of that country. It's everything about that country. It's all the food that they grow. And if there's one thing I know about Palestine, it's that they grow a lot of food. It's their industry, right? Like when America was fighting the Nazis, the evil Nazis who killed literally every single one of the Jews. They killed all the Jews but two. I'll talk about that in a second. But when, America was fighting those guys, when FDR, that brave man, decided to stand up to the Nazis, stand up to Hitler, he bombed Dresden. He firebombed Dresden, and, people criticize that, saying he killed 250,000 civilians. And that's just, civilians is a massive quote-unquote there, right? Like, you can't consider these people civilians. And, if America doesn't, then why would we expect Israel to? And so I just, free Israel. Palestine, you can't, people saying free Palestine doesn't even exist. It's never existed, like, really. So you can't say free Palestine. You can say free Israel because the fucking evil monsters over in Palestine, every single one of them, every single one of the people who live there, who's being backed by, America probably, because America notoriously hates Israel, and so we're probably funding, quote unquote Hamas and Hezbollah. But once again, Hamas and Hezbollah aren't a real thing. Everyone in there is part of Hamas or Hezbollah, and so America's probably funding those guys because just this country for some reason hates Israel. We give like pennies to Israel, which they're thankful for, by the way. They call America their greatest ally, and they're thankful for the pennies we give them. And I just think it's disgusting that people in this country think otherwise. But the brave IDF soldiers over there fighting Hezbollah and Hamas, and just those. There's not an adult in Palestine, by the way. There's not a single. It's a rule. It's some weird rule they have. There's not a human being over the age of, I would say, at the very 23. There's not a human being, or under the age of 23. My apologies. Under the age of 23 living in Palestine, and that's a simple fact. That's a simple fact of the matter of what's going on over there. There's not a single person under the age of 23 living. It might seem like there is. It might seem like there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of children that live there, elderly people who are too old to fight. Everyone that lives in Palestine is a military-aged male between the ages of 23 and 35, and I'm not afraid to say it, all right? I'll speak the fucking truth for our greatest ally of all time, the ones who supported us when no one else did. Every other country has in some way fucked over America or our military, or like just, at least one American civilian or, member of the military. Israel has never done that. Not one single one. And so I'm just really grateful to them for, giving me this ad and just letting me talk this much about something that I think is true. But that went on way too long. There's so many clippables in there to just drop the nuke on me, dude. I'm a Palestinian baby, and you're dropping a Hellfire missile on me with literally any fucking clip from that. Any clip longer than 2 seconds, any clip that isn't me just making a noise is the most insane thing. Just objectively, right? Like, not even Fox News would be like, Jesus fucking Christ, get this psycho out of here. Even those people would be, or they might be scared I would be taking their jobs. They'd be scared that I'd swoop right in, and Israel would like point the finger at me, give me the thumbs up, like a Rocky type of thing, or like Apollo when Rocky finally ran fast, give me like the double thumbs up, and then we do a slow motion high five, jump in the air, freeze frame. Like that's what might happen between me and Israel if Fox News hired me. No one else. It would just be me all 24 hours a day. They just inject me with whatever shit they give, like they give the IDF. They just like inject me with like those steroids and that caffeine or whatever, and just have me on there ranting and raving 24 hours a day, and I'd be unstoppable. I'd be like the captain. That's the super soldier serum. They'd give me the super goyim serum, and they just have me rant all day and night on there, just screaming into the camera, face red, veins popping out of places you didn't, like veins popping out of my ears and shit. Just, you don't fucking know anything. Like every once in a while, I'll take like a call in from a college student, and I'll just scream at him. You don't fucking know anything. I'll have like a research team in the back, like looking up shit about him. You know what I mean? You have fucking Crohn's disease. No Jew has Crohn's. Everyone knows how great Jews' digestive tracts are. Get the fuck out of here. That's just that. 24 hours a day, all day, every day. It would play in every school in America. Every school, psychology students would watch it to see how it's possible. They'd be like, he's been up for 7 days, and there's no way that's true. They rewatched the recording. Jesus fucking Christ. He's unstoppable. It's him. It's Captain Goyim, dude. Captain Israel America. That's who I'd be. Just on there screaming at the top, just making up complete facts or complete, untrue facts. I would be complete falses because true false. It's the opposite. I'd be making up complete falses, just screaming into the mic as loud as I could. Anything I could, just drawing like things from different aspects of culture all into like just talking about Palestine, right? Like bringing in like Chinese myths, being like, the Yeti, he's fucking Palestinian, right? He makes people go missing on Everest. You know who doesn't make people go missing on Everest? Israel. All right, next one. We have a call in from a non-binary 14-year-old with green hair. What do you have to say? And it's like, I know you're fat and your parents are divorced. Get the fuck out of here, frog, or whatever your name is. And I'd just be doing that for 24 hours every day, 7 days a week, not an ounce of rest, right? Like I'd somehow, they'd like program my unconscious mind, give me like some MK Ultra, like some LSD or some PCP or whatever, and like fucking control my subconscious mind. Just like instead of dreaming or whatever, they have me on like some weird like sleepwalk routine where it's like my eyes are closed, but I'm still screaming about Israel and I'm like incorporating my dreams from it. Like every once in a while I flinch, be like, what the fuck is that? Jesus. I did have a nightmare the other night. I guess not really a nightmare, but there was something like, for 7 days, there was like this person who got like possessed or something, or like taken over by a spirit. I guess that's what possession is. But and he was like this, I don't know if it was a dude or a chick, but it was someone, and it was at my school, and he was just like wandering around for like, just like, I don't know, like scared. I don't think he killed anyone. I think he was just walking around scaring people. I think this dude might have just, he was in the mood. He was like a cat. He turned into a cat, basically. He was just like hiding around corners being like, gotcha. I think that's what he was doing. But like, he was just wandering around doing that, and we were like, all right, we have to outlast him for 7 days. And I guess this is like, is that what Five Nights at Freddy's is? I never played that game. I was always too scared to play it. But we had to like outlast this dude for like 7 days, and we were like, all right, we're in the clear after that. And like the way we did it, as I guess he couldn't walk upstairs, which is like, that sounds like something from like a voodoo or like a Chinese spirit myth, being like, he cannot walk backwards up a stair. Most incredible. This guy cannot walk backwards. But so he couldn't, for some reason, he couldn't like get to the second floor. And like on the second floor, there was like this balcony, right? Like this big like balcony type of thing overlooking the first floor. It was almost like the first floor was kind of like just a lobby. So maybe this was in like a hotel. Maybe it was like it was 5 nights at La Quinta Inn. I don't think La Quinta Inn has any. I don't even think it's a hotel. It definitely doesn't have any balconies. But we were like up on this balcony watching this guy walk around, and every once in a while I'd have to like run down to save people. And I'm very heroic in my dreams, by the way. I've had multiple dreams where I've stopped a school shooting. I've had multiple of those, or like some kind of mass shooting where I'm like, everyone get the fuck out. In real life, I'm the biggest pussy ever. I'm like scared. I'm scared to like give a wrong answer in class. But I've had those dreams before. And so I guess me and this guy, or I would like went down and like rescued people a few times, and I would like go down and like bring food up. And I guess it was in a hotel, so I guess I was bringing up like jars of M&Ms or something. I was bringing up like wine bottles of, mini bottles of wine up to like the balcony that we were all chilling on. And eventually this guy, I guess he got like frustrated because I kept going down and saving everyone like the badass that I am, like the fucking sick Mark Wahlberg character that I am. And so he like started screaming at me, and I think I might have been like hungry. Like I think it was like that point, because I get hungry very quickly. I eat a meal, and like 2 hours later, I'm like, when's the last time I ate? I'm starving. I could feel my muscles, not even my fat. All my fat's already been consumed. I could feel like my muscles and my bones being absorbed so my brain can keep functioning. But I guess I was like hungry or something, and I guess that like kind of translated over to the dream. How you can like have a dream where you're like, and like your alarm goes off, and you can like hear your alarm in the dream. It might have been one of those types of things. But anyway, I was up on this balcony, and he was just like, fuck it. He's just like but like demon talk, right? So not even English, not even like The Exorcist where it's like, your mom sucks cocks in hell. Have fun there, motherfucker. Not even one of those things. It was like he was just screaming, like, that type of thing. And this, by the way, it wasn't like he was like some crazy big, like scared, like orc type of thing, or like, demon with the big horns. He was just like a guy that was purple. He looked like a Fortnite skin guy. He looked like the Galaxy Fortnite skin. I don't even think he had horns. Like, but that's what he was looking like. You know, he did look pretty. You got to give him props. You know, it's, what do they say? Devils or demons are attractive to like bring people in, and angels are scary to drive evil away. There's some like dumb like Tumblr quote bullshit like that. But he did look pretty sick. I gotta give it to him. He did look pretty sick. But he was like down there giving us like this demon scream, and I just went up there and started going like a white boy crazy. And I had almost like Michael Rooker. Do you guys? I don't know if anyone knows who Michael Rooker is. He played Merle on The Walking Dead. He played the fucking Yondu in Guardians of the He talks like this, little brother. Let me tell. But I had like his voice, but like kind of more sexy and badass, almost like a mixture of that and like some kind of like spy or something, like something sexy like that. But I had like that type of voice, and I was just going, but like I was using it to say like the biggest nerd things possible. And people think nerd shit is like, you know, D&D or Helldivers or Star Wars or whatever. And it's like, no, dude, the real nerd, we all have that nerd in us. That nerd can always be unlocked in us, just like that bullied little kid that just spazzes one day. Like he doesn't want to shoot up the school. He doesn't want to kill anyone, but just fucking stop it. Like that. That's real nerd shit, and we all have it inside of us. But I was just using like my sexy like Rick Grimes voice to just do that, just be like, fuck you, I'll fucking rip your face. It did sound badass because I did have, you know, sexy Rick Grimes voice, but you know, but I was just nerd spazzing on it. I was like gripping a controller as hard as I could, just like fucking fuck you. You know, I like almost punched my wall, but then I like knew that my fragile little bird bones would break on it. That's basically what I was doing to this fucking guy. And he was just down there, and we were just having this screaming match, and I was just going fucking absolutely white boy crazy. Like, this sounds almost like a, what's that shit called? Rage Against the Machine? Or so, like one of those types of songs. Wake up! But I was just, fuck you! I was just screaming at him. But I did have the sexy voice, so that did make it cooler. But that was my dream, nightmare, whatever. You gotta die in a nightmare for me to consider it a nightmare. Like, if you're not dying, or like, something horrific going on, like, I don't think this guy even got anyone. He was like some shitty, like, no-name demon. He's like the demon of, like, not even flies. He's like the demon of just some absolute, like, he's like the demon of mold, right? Like, it's like mold, yeah, it can be deadly, but only if you're retarded. And so I think that's like what this guy was like the demon of. And so he didn't get anyone. He got precisely no one. And I think I woke up before we finished it, but I think we had it on lock. If I remember correctly, which I am, we had the game on lock. That guy was not getting a single shot in the entire time. He was pump faking every now and then. We were like, oh, he could be shooting. He could be going for it. And then I just came in. Blocked by James. Get that shit the fuck out of here. That weak shit out of here. But, and back to like, when I was talking about like the Israel ad or whatever, when I was like, there was only 2 Jews left after the Holocaust. I was thinking about like how funny. I was just thinking about this the other day in like the shower or whatever, and it was like there was only 2 Jews left after the Holocaust, and they were both guys, and so one of them had to become transgender, and that transgender woman saved an entire race and created the only free nation on earth, Israel. A transgender Jewish woman, a transgender Jewish Holocaust survivor, changed her gender and bravely brought about a brave new world for us all to live in. That was the only funny thing I had about that. So I was like, I have to expand on it a little bit. And then I was thinking, because I was like, I'm gonna be getting high, so I'm gonna be so smart and creative. Just a retarded thought. No, you're gonna get high and you're gonna be retarded, it's what the people want. Like, ultimately, it's what the people want. So I'm here doing it. But and so I was like, well, should I do like an ad read for apples? I think that would be funny, right? Like, apples, isn't that kind of random? Or like potatoes, derp. And then I ultimately decided on the IDF, which is, I mean, just as retarded. It's just as, but there are some people out there who like pretend that they wouldn't do that or something. Like the IDF, like if the IDF was like, here's $1 million, dude, like people always shit on like the presidents or whatever for going to the Wailing Wall and like kissing it and putting on the yarmulke and shit like that. And it's like, dude, for $1 million, not even like generational, not even like I could retire right now, not even I could retire at 60 type money, like not even that type of fucking money. I would go to the Wailing Wall, I'd lick a fucking suction cup on a dildo and I'd fucking smack myself in the face with. I would suck that wall's dick. I would suck that wall's dick, and I'd lick its gooch. All right, like the cracks where like the stones intersect. I would lick that gooch for a million. Not even. You could spend that in a year easily and not even have a house. Like that type of money. I would suck that wall's dick. I'd eat its taint. I'd play with its balls a little bit, and I'd swallow. What's Jack Black's line in Tropic Thunder? Stroke the shaft and swallow the gravy. That's what I would do. I would do that to the Wailing Wall for $1 million. And another thing about this podcast is I'm probably going to do it in sections. It's 7:30 p.m. right now, and so I'm not trying to get like so high that like I have to go to bed at like 9 p.m. because I'm having like my third panic attack. So I don't think I'm going to do that. But I think I'm gonna record this in sections, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm kind of feeling it fade a little bit, and so I think I'm gonna stop right now, and I'm gonna come back with another section right at you. I think I got a few articles here pulled up that I think I'll talk about. So I'll go watch like half a Joe Rogan podcast and come back, and hopefully I'll be swinging. Hopefully I'll come out of the fucking like a dog out of a cage, just an abused pit bull. That Joe Rogan episode's gonna be like when they toss a chihuahua in there to get it real riled up. That's what that Joe Rogan episode will be for me. Just an abused little, like, not even a full-blood chihuahua, like some shitty mutt that's like half pit bull, half chihuahua. And I'll go and I'll take that as my treat, and I'll fucking shake it dead, and then I'll go out and I'll rip out this other pit bull's neck, all for you, my king, Mike Vick. So I think I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna come back and read these articles. All right. Hanging with my cousin, reading dirty magazines. We seen two fellas kissing, we ain't know what that shit mean. Then we started reenacting everything that we had seen. That's when I gave my cousin head. Gave my cousin head. Gave my cousin head. I gave my cousin head. I gave my cousin head. Stop it right there. That was the most beautiful rendition of any song, original or cover, that anyone's ever done in the history of mankind. And it's, that's because when you imitate greatness, you become great yourself, right? Like, this is something that Mary Oliver, read the Poet's Handbook, which is something I was forced to read for a creative writing class. And if you've taken a creative writing class, or if you're like a creative writing major specifically, you gave your cousin head. Whether you literally did it or didn't do it, you in some way, and just the way you act, the aura you give off to the world, you gave your cousin head. If you're a creative writing major or a poetry major, or really anything other than STEM. If that's like, if you're even teaching major, you gave your nephew. You gave your nephew. If you're a teaching, you're just a pedophile incest guy, gay pedophile incest. That's the type of guy you are if you're a teaching major. But I mean, Banger Song by Kanye. I don't know why everyone's shitting on it. It's fire. The auto-tune is beautiful. You can't be mad at him for using auto-tune and then turn around and talk about, I don't know, whoever, Taylor Swift. She probably uses auto-tune in some way. All these people do use, like, all their voices are, like, engineered. Like, they have, like, someone back there that, like, adjusts that shit. Like, anyone can sound like a good like, Nickelback. Look at the guy from Nickelback. Look at that long, stringy, blonde, fake hair motherfucker with the grown-out black roots, and tell me that guy can sing. Not a chance in fucking hell that guy can. That guy can, the only, like, words that are fit to come out of that guy's mouth are like menthol or regular. Like, that's the type of face he has. Or like, yo, dude, can you just put like $5 off the price of that cocaine, man? Like, that's the type of, like, I'm with a girl right now, dude, just give me $5 off that bag. I've been fucking loyal to you this whole time. Like, that's the type of, the only thing that guy could say. The only thing that guy could say is like asking to get like $5 off of what is clearly fake Molly. It's clearly a bag of dirt, and he's like, in like a high school senior selling it to him. He's 32. He's at a college freshman party. He's not at a high school senior party. He hasn't graduated to that level yet, but he's at like a college freshman party, and like some fucking senior there that's like fucking a fucking, a freshman at the college is like, fucking, yeah, I'll sell you this, $5 off, though I don't know if I could do it. He's charging him like $400 for a dime bag of dirt, being like, this is the best fucking Molly around. Like, that's the voice the guy from Nickelback has. What's his name? Chad Kroger? That sounds like what his name would be. Like, a guy that's not interesting enough or like doesn't have enough drive to be a real junkie. Like that's what the lead singer of Nickelback looks like. It looks like he really just wants to be like a severe fentanyl or meth addict and just fully dive into that life, but he just doesn't have the spirit in him to do it, right? He doesn't have whatever it is, the drive or like the fuck you attitude, or he like cares too much. He really wants to be a junkie, but he just cares too much to like not do it. Like that's the type of aura Chad Kroeger. Like he wants to fuck a 17-year-old that's in high school, but he doesn't have it in him. He's like, oh, what if I go to jail? He doesn't have that dog in him, like the other ones do. Like that's what that guy. If he's listening to this, and I know that he is, he doesn't have that dog in him like that. He just doesn't have the drive in him to do it. To just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it, right? Like pedophiles. Say what you want about them. They got that fuck you at. Like they don't care what anyone says, dude. Like if pedophiles could just like turn like that drive just like that, I don't care what anyone thinks. If they could turn that drive to like being Navy SEALs or something, that's what we got to do. We got to, because the government's like all full of pedophiles anyway, like the high level government, they're all pedophiles anyway. And so we just take some of those kids and we take like these pedophiles that got jacked in jail, right? Like these guys that have to like fist fight every day to protect themselves. We take those guys. We're like, hey, we got Epstein killed himself, but we still got a few other islands going on here. We got a few yachts. A yacht's basically a portable island. We got like a cargo ship full of kids just floating around out there that we all go to every once in a while. We're going to give you some Navy SEAL training. We're going to give you like half the amount that Navy SEALs do, because you already have like that thing that makes a Navy SEAL a Navy SEAL. You already have that in you. So we're going to send you out there, and you're just going to go kill someone. And then we got a shipping container full of them just for you, dude. We got all kinds. Black, white, dude, chick, we got it all fucking in there. You know what I mean? It's an assortment. It's a box of chocolates. As Mama used to say, a shipping container full of children's like a box of chocolates. Okay, so when you guys are done with your mission, when you're done killing, I don't know, whoever the fuck we're sending you, and we can't send them to do like to kill the leader of Hamas's like grandson or whoever. Like, wasn't that a thing? Recently, like Israel was like, we recently killed the minister of fucking military's grandson of Hamas, and then you find out it's like a 2-year-old kid, or it's like his nephew, and it's like a 2-year-old. They were like, got him. We fucking got him. We're not gonna be sending those guys to do that. We're not, because they're not gonna kill him. They're gonna do some other things. They might. What they do to him like might turn him into enough of a beast to like have that fight in him, have that dog in him, and fight back against us. So we're not gonna send those boys to go and do that. We're gonna send them shoot to kill. If you see a child, it's shoot to fucking kill. We might have to keep a shock collar on him, like a dog, like an angry fucking cane corset, like a fake cane corset. Just like that, just like shock them. Like if you like have like an AI detector, put a camera on their helmet, and then have like an AI detector, and if it's like child detector, just shock them, be like, stay on the mission, dude. Think about all the kids we got over here for you. Think about what we got on this shipping container. A Walmart shipping container that used to be full of ground beef is now full of kids just for you, dude. A different type of tasty meal just for our little good boys. Go out there and kill the 2-year-old. Do it for Israel. So I think that's what we got to do with these pedophiles, And not the bullshit ones either. Not the ones that are like you catch them with a bunch of it on their computer, which, by the way, why do they always all have like 80 terabytes of it? I don't think I've watched or seen 80 terabytes of like regular images in my life. Like just full on every, like, I'm talking digitally. I have not seen 80 terabytes worth of information in front of my face, I think, in the totality of my life. So I don't know what that makes me think that's like, first of all, how that takes like 30 years to download. It's like these dudes that live in like these shitty, extended stay motels in like rural Florida, and it's like that guy has 80 terabytes on there. That takes 100 years for his fucking. They don't even have fucking. They're still using like telegraph wires to download shit, dude. He was receiving that shit by like Morse code. He had to dial up to get that to get on the fucking internet, dude. There's no way he has 80 terabytes on there. But those guys are the bullshit pet. Like no, like you were 19 and you fucked a 17-year-old and like everyone freaked. None of that shit. I'm talking real fucking in the van, jump out boys type shit. You know what I'm saying? Jump out boys, van boys, little kid boys, pedo boys. Jump out type shit. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. That's the type of shit I want my pedophiles to be on when they join our army. And speaking of pedophiles have gotten so lazy. Everyone all these criminals used to be like so fucking, they used to be like tough, you know, like if you wanted to rob someone, you used to have to like shoot them in the fucking head for their wallet or their, you know, watch or whatever. And now they're just like getting like credit card info, like they didn't even steal the credit card like some Russian bot did, and they're just getting that online and like buying a bunch of fucking, I don't know, whatever the fuck they're buying from Amazon, a bunch of plates or whatever, and just reselling the plates. Like, it's just, you hate to see it. And the same is true of pedophiles. The same is true of almost all criminals. Like, even the serial killers have it so fucking easy now with like Tinder and stuff, and just chicks just like not being married at 17 and they get to make their own decisions. Like, that was the people who pushed for that, the people who were like, women should be independent and should be able to do whatever they want. The people who did that were probably serial killers, so they could be like, yeah, you don't need a fucking man. You don't need a fucking man to help you. They're like, yes, we got them. They think they could just run free. And that was a joke, by the way. I think women are just as capable of men as men, if not more capable. All right, that's what I think about women. They are the bravest. No one is braver than a woman who is raising a child on her own. I don't care what the fuck you've done. I don't care what any man, all right, has ever done with his life. He's not as brave as a woman who is raising a child on her own with only $6,000 a month in alimony and child support. Right, you're not braver than that woman, and you're not braver than any trans women. Might be more braver than single moms raising a single trans woman raising a child on her own with only $6,000 in child support and alimony is braver than you will ever be. And you will never be able, just fundamentally, you could not be as brave as that woman. All right, because she is a woman. She birthed that. She's white, and she birthed that fully Mexican child out of her penis hole. That's what she did. All right, and these people are braver than anyone else. Braver. They storm Normandy every second they're awake. Right. You hear people talk about how they're gonna put like VR headsets or like chips in prisoners' brains so that they can live out 100-year sentence in a second. That's what these women go through. Right. Every second of their life is like 10,000 D-days in a row for their entire lives, because they're just that brave. Like, have you ever seen a woman cry? Have you ever seen a woman like freak out emotionally? No, you haven't, because they've learned to control their emotions, because they go through hell 10,000 times a second for every second of their lives, even while they are sleeping. All right? They're braver than you. They're braver than any man, you know? Excluding trans men. They're braver. These women are so incredibly brave. And speaking of a brave woman, speaking of a woman who said, fuck the system, I'm going to do my own thing. A woman that doesn't take no shit, take no guff, all right? And this isn't racist. She's not a black woman. But she didn't take no shit. She didn't take no fucking guff. She didn't take no nonsense. She fucking did what she thought was right. And I applaud her for that. All right, let's open this up. Where's it at? Where's the title at? Woman arrested for sending poisoned Easter eggs to ex's family in alleged revenge plot, killing one child. This woman is RFK. This woman is who RFK thinks he is. This woman sent chocolate eggs, like chocolate Easter egg type of thing, you know, with the tin foil on them and you open it up like Cadbury cream egg almost, like that type of thing. She sent some of those to these people's house, and she poisoned the eggs and fed them to the children. All right, and the reason she did that is because these types of eggs, you know, these candies, especially around Easter time, you know, holidays when kids just get to eat as much candy as they want, when they get to like really, you know, let loose and enjoy their lives and not look at their iPads for 1 second, and they eat all this candy, that is what's killing them, right? Like, that's what's slowly degrading their bodies. And this woman was like, all right, I'm going to show you how dangerous these eggs are in the long term by showing you how dangerous they are in the short term. And she poisoned this egg and fed it to a child because she is a brave, independent woman who does right no matter what. I applaud her for this. Let's see what the corrupt, patriarchal, fascist news has to say about this freedom fighter, this Katniss Everdeen, this fucking, you know, Rosa Parks that we have on our hands. Not even... Rosa Parks is a black woman, so of course she's the bravest, almost as brave as a trans man. But, I mean, this woman's right up there with her. A jealous ex, see, immediately off rip. Immediately off rip. Oh, she's jealous just because she cooked up a 1 year plot, right? Just because she plotted for 1 year to try to kill this woman and her children. Oh, she's jealous because does that sound like something a crazy person would do? Yeah, if she's a woman. If she's a woman, then you'd call her crazy, but not. It fills me with so much anger reading this patriarchal news talking about this chick. Or this, sorry, woman. Chick, that's a slur. Jordiella Pereira Barbosa, proud indigenous woman, proud Amerindian woman, proud woman of color, BIPOC, maybe queer as well. I'm looking at her face right now. She does have a donkey lesbian face. So she is a BIPOC queer woman. Okay, so off rip, she can do no wrong, but let's read a little more. 35, allegedly purchased the chocolate eggs in a disguise, and you know why she had to use that disguise? You know why, what's this brave woman's name, Jordiella? You know why she had to wear that disguise? Because if she went in there dressed like an actual woman, they would have killed her. They would have pulled out bats, and this took place in India, so they would have pulled out piñata sticks, and they would have beat this poor woman to death for shopping while being a woman. The most oppressed group of people on earth. The most oppressed group of people on earth. All right? And so she purchased these eggs in a disguise, as I said, and spiked them herself before they were delivered to the home of her ex-boyfriend's new partner, 32-year-old Miriam Lira. Miriam Lira, you are a race traitor, and I hope you are the one that, or not a race traitor, a gender traitor. You are just horse-feeding into the patriarchy, just being, oh, I'm such a good girl for the patriarchy, right? That's who you are. Compared to this woman, compared to this brave freedom fighter who poisoned a chocolate egg and gave it to a little kid. Barbosa left a note with the gift that read, with love to Miriam Lira, happy Easter. She tried to convert her back over to that other side. And see, this is the thing with women, is that they're always very clear with what they're saying. And so I can read that and be like, oh, she's not just wishing her a happy Easter. She's being like, hey, you're on the side of the patriarchy right now. This isn't very, socially conscious of you. Come back over to our side. That's what that note really means. That's what that note really means. And so she gave this woman this note and these eggs, and she fed them with her children, 7-year-old Luis Silva, male, so he deserved to die, and then 13-year-old Evelyn Fernanda last Wednesday. Little Luis fell ill immediately after eating the chocolates and died at a nearby hospital the following day. You know what I heard about this? You know what I heard about our brave freedom fighter Jordiella? I heard that she applied to Harvard, MIT, all these colleges to try to get in there, try to take part in their chemical engineering programs, and she was denied from all of them for being a BIPOC queer woman of color, because that's what those colleges are famous for, right? That's what the Ivy Leagues are famous for, is rejecting people of color, brave, queer women of color. And so she applied to all of those colleges, and they rejected her, and then she cooked this thing up that only killed men. She cooked up this little poison that only killed men, and that's why little Luis, the future rapist, that's why he died, because this genius cooked it up, and she was like, I'm going to end the lives of all men. The eggs were delivered to the home of Barbosa's, that fucking gender traitor. The cause of death for Luis has not been confirmed. This is the Brazilian police force for you guys. This is the Brazilian police force. Hey, papi, I don't know. Pau, pau. Hey, queso gordo mega do. I was trying to do Brazilian there, but they're fully not paying attention. They're like, do you see Alex Pereira is going to be the champ again? They're just not talking about that shit at all. How have you not this is a very look in this lady's house for poison, because this clearly isn't a smart woman. She was like, you know what, hot, because I imagine this chick is hotter than her. That's why her husband left her. But she was like, you know what hot chicks like? Easter eggs, or chocolate Easter eggs. I'm going to go give it to her. And she's going to, chomp down on these Easter. Obviously, she's going to immediately, I don't know if she was going for a Jim Jones thing, trying to take out the whole family, trying to get them all in one foul swoop, like a fucking shooting like Odysseus, the arrow through the eyes of the axes. I don't know if she was going for that type of thing, or if she was just trying to kill just the mom, but she got a 7-year-old little kid. And this is, a few episodes ago, I talked about my challenge to women. And my challenge to women was that if you kill 10 people, or I think it was 10 mass shootings by the end of the year, or 10 serial killers or something like that, then I will vote for I will go to the White House myself and somehow get abortion put into the Constitution. I'll fucking do it. If you guys can get 10 school shooters in a year, I will vote Democrat for the rest. I've never voted before, but God damn it, I will, and I will vote Democrat for the rest of my life. This one doesn't count. This woman, there were rules. I feel like Willy Wonka right now. Like when he found out that like Charlie drank like the pop or whatever, he's like, the rules, you broke the rules, all right. And that's what this woman did. She broke the rules. She broke the one rule I had. The one rule I had is that you can't be like, like they're like the most infamous female serial killer of all time was a nurse who used to like purposely overdose her elderly patients. And I'm like, that's not a serial killer. That's just a it was just that time of the month and she decided to kill everyone. Like, that's not a real serial killer. And this woman isn't either. And so don't blame me. I know they're going to go through her phone history and they're going to find like the most obvious like search for how to make poison ever. And then they're going to find that episode where I leveled that challenge. She didn't follow the rules, guys. I don't know. I was being like, go kill a fucking bodybuilder with a baseball bat. That's what I was telling them to do. I told them to do the opposite of this. I said I was sick and tired of this bullshit, and she turned around and she did it. But, I mean, she does have a fat ass. They're showing like the perp walk right now. And by the way, the Brazilian cops, I was spot on. I was spot on with my prediction. These guys are wearing t-shirts, like they're wearing like golf polos almost, right? Like a polo that's made out of like an athletic material, like not spandex, but like, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing. They're wearing polos made out of that. No bulletproof vests. Only one of them has a gun and they're wearing jeans and sneakers. No bulletproof. They don't have walkie-talkies or anything like that. Like they probably just call each other on fucking, what's that shit called? App chat? Some shit like that? Fuck, what's it called? I don't know what it's called. Our chat, it's like all the people, all like the not white, all white people just use Snapchat. What's that fucking shit called? Now app? It's some bullshit like that. But that's what they're communicating with. They're communicating with something that's like not as good as Snapchat. And they're just no radio in sight. Just perp walking her and I'm looking for a police car. There's not a police car anywhere. There's a 2006 Chevy Impala in the background, and that's what they're doing the perp walk to. They don't even have a Dodge Charger, a fucking, what's that called? A Victoria Crown Victoria. It's like the old classic like 70s police car. They don't even have that. They're just walking there. That's a fucking rental. That thing is leased right now. They're like, fuck, dude. I can't go over my miles on the lease. We're just going to have to, like, walk her back with no car. That's what they're fucking walking this chick to. I was spot on with my prediction. What I was not spot on, though, she does have a fat ass. That is, a great view. And now I think they're showing, the picture of the kids. This kid, he does have a blank, angry look in his eye. The kid who died, he kind of looks like Gomer Pyle, but rest in peace. Obviously, rest in peace. The chick the other guy went for, the chick that she was trying to kill with the Easter eggs, kind of has a bit of a Michael Jackson nose. I'm not impressed. And this chick, she is a horse-faced lesbian with a fat ass, so she probably fucks like no one else. Like the chick who did the killing with the Easter eggs. So I don't know why this guy fucking left her for Michael Jackson and her two insane looking kids. Really, only one of them was insane, but rest in peace to that kid. He wasn't Palestinian, so he wasn't a child that deserved to die. Okay, he deserved to live out the rest of his life in peace, and it's a shame. It's a travesty what that psychotic woman did to him. And now we're on to our other article. We're on to our other article for today. George Santos accused of weeping crocodile tears by Navy vet who claimed ex-Pole stole thousands from his dying dog. And I guess ex-Pole, it's not a guy who used to be Polish. He was a politician, and I don't remember what he lost his job for. But this guy, he was, every other week, there was like some tabloid. I think he's like a Democrat Lauren Boebert. I think it's like with that type of thing is like he's just like some crazy fucking, not even like a psychopath. Like maybe he is a psychopath, but he doesn't have like, he's not like Dexter or like, Ted Bundy or one of like those guys where he's like super cold and calculated like Nancy Pelosi or whoever, who's just like, for some reason they're on this mission to make as much money as possible. He's just like if just a psychopath, like if the only emotion a psychopath could feel was like fun, like that's the type of guy, just a psychopath that loves fun all the time. But that's what this guy was, and he's also a gay guy. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but when fucking a while ago there was like this video that came out of Congress that of these two like gay guys fucking in like the Senate room or whatever it's called. But but this guy got George Santos on his podcast, who's like this young gay guy who like he looks he's like a millennial gay. He like has like the purple glasses and like the receding hairline and like the kind of comb over type, like that type of look. He's kind of like a lesbian. Like that's what millennial gay dudes look like, is like lesbians, like middle millennial. I'm talking about like probably from 88 until 93, like those types of like gay millennial guys. Like that's what he looks like a gay guy that doesn't really feel anything sexual, but you can see in this guy's eyes he has that sexual drive in him. But like when that happened, some guy got George Santos on his podcast when like the two guys got fucking two twinks, by the way. It was twink on twink crime. Something the media doesn't talk about enough, but it was some twink on twink crime. They got the video and they showed it to George Santos, and he was just fuck, what did he say? I had it in my head of what he said. He's like, that's some good lovin', or some shit like that. This fucking psychopath. But he got kicked out of Congress, and I have the article here from when he got kicked out of Congress. Santos is the sixth ever to be expelled from the House of Congress. He is accused by prosecutors of making a number of financial misdeeds, including reimbursing himself for loans to his congressional campaign that he appears to have never actually made, in essence stealing money from campaign donors. And it's like when you hear like the list of presidents who have like been impeached, right? It's like Andrew Johnson, a guy who like tried to reinstate slavery in the United States after the Civil War. And then it's like, who's after that? Richard Nixon. It's like Richard Nixon got impeached. And it's like, if you believe if you believe the Watergate story is 100% true and there's no meddling from either side in it, then yeah, I can see that he like tried to like essentially make a one party. He could have become a dictator. Okay, I can understand why you'd like impeach that guy. And then the next guy after that is Bill Clinton. And it's like, he fucked his secretary, and you're like, yeah, but his dad invaded Iraq for no reason. So I don't know. We're cutting hairs here, but I could see where you're coming. Maybe he'll like, I don't know, make her the Secretary of War or something. It's just like, whatever. Okay, I get it. Fuck it. And then you get to like Trump, and it's like Trump got impeached. He was mean. We didn't like him. He was a fucking meanie pie, dude. He was a fucking asshole, dude. Someone said, all right, my third cousin, is it Shilese or Chandra? It's Shilese or Chandra. I can't remember what her name is. She told me that Trump was like, yeah, he went to like, he can read Russian or something like that. Like that's why we're invaded. Like, and that just shows like the degradation of like the parties, like the relationship between the Democratic and Republican Party, like over time. It was like when they impeached Andrew Johnson, that was probably like a universal, like, yo, let's get this psychopath the fuck out of here. I don't even know if he was impeached. I think he was. It was like somewhere around there. Or like it was some president who did like some awful thing. It might have been like a Depression era president who like, fucking completely fucked over the American people and caused like the Great Depression. It might have been one of those guys, but it was like someone like that. And then it was Nixon, and then it was Clinton, and then it was Trump. And it's just like, it shows how like quickly the relationship is deteriorating. But yeah, he stole from his campaign donors. I mean, you could argue that for any candidate who has ever lost an election. You could be like, "Oh yeah, that guy stole from us. He said he was gonna win this election. He said he was gonna use this money to like rally support and then go win this election, and then he didn't win it." And it's also like, and that also shows the type of guy George Santos is. We haven't gotten into the article yet, but the headline: he got accused by a disabled Navy vet of stealing from him. But that's the type of guy he is, to where he's like, and he probably didn't steal shit, dude. He probably didn't steal fucking anything. He probably stole, we're probably talking less than $1 million. I think if he got $2 million, I'd be fucking surprised. I'm not going to look it up because I just tried to look it up and it took me 30 minutes and I just stopped talking. So I'm not going to look it up again. But he probably stole chump change. Literally, Nancy Pelosi has like 10,000, not 10,000, 10,000 million. That's what, 10 billion? She has fucking all the money in the world, and she hasn't gotten in one bit of trouble. This guy's just like some piece of white trash who like slithered his way into office somehow, some fucking, he was probably in like some bullshit district. I think he was in like a New York district, so it wasn't like some bullshit district, but still, he slithered his way in there, and he just along the way was just walking down fucking the Robin Hood path, the yellow brick road, skipping around, just like smelling the flowers, being like, oh, $1,000 from you and $10,000 from you. Just skipping down the path doing that all the way to Congress. And then he got to Congress and just fucking gay talked over everyone. He was like, it's my turn to speak now. With that type of neck, I wouldn't be talking, honey. Just went around Congress doing that, making TikToks and shit. And then they fucking found out that he stole $150,000 and didn't even buy anything. He bought like a condo for his mom. He's like, Mama, I got a condo for you. But that's all he did. And then they kicked him out. And the other 6 probably like were Nazis or like some insane shit like that. The other 6 like fucking tried to advocate for us to get into wars in like the 1920s. They were like, shit like that. Like before the military industrial complex start, like that type of shit. And then they just kicked out George Santos for stealing $10,000 from the fucking Margaret McMaley Fund for the congressional district of New York or whatever. It's ridiculous. But let's read a little bit more about this article. So, George Santos was weeping crocodile tears as his sentencing. A Navy veteran who previously accused the Lion X-Pole of stealing thousands meant for his sick dog claimed on Friday. First of all, George Santos, dude. George Santos should not be doing this. He should be hosting a political talk show on like Newsmax or something like that. Like one of like those, just like almost InfoWars. Like that's where he should be hosting a show on one of those. Like a Fox segment that only plays in like the middle of the day. A Fox segment that plays at like 2 p.m. every day. Like that's where he should be. He should have a show doing that. He doesn't have to sink to this low of a level. He got to Congress. He literally got to Congress just to steal. Like I feel like that's the whole reason he got there was just to steal. And he got there. He got to Congress. He skipped through, stealing $10,000 from everyone, and he's like rubbing his hands together and he's like, I'm gonna steal so much more now. And then he got caught immediately. And it just proves that he could have a talk show on fucking on Fox or Newsmax or whatever. But no, he's fucking over Navy veterans, disabled Navy veterans and their sick dogs. But let's look at this dog. Yeah, the dog should have died. I'm with Santos. Like this guy was probably like, Santos, sir, Mr. Santos, sir, you're the last true patriot in this country. I need $10,000 to get my dog's vocal cords fixed, please, or he's gonna die. Santos was probably imagining like this dog was like some sort of beautiful golden retriever or like a Siberian husky, something sexy like that, like just a real sick, like a Ferrari of dogs kind of. And that's what I mean by sexy. I am white, but I don't want to fuck dogs. But Santos was probably imagining like a beautiful animal. And then he got a peek at this pooch, dude. And this pooch it's like a gross pit bull fucking disgusting, one of those ones that like a dude or like a chick on TikTok, because it's always a chick, but like a chick on TikTok will like purposely adopt a disabled dog to just like build this account and this like brand around where she could just make as much money as possible. That's kind of what this dog looks like. It's not that bad, but like I feel like Santos was like disappointed probably when he saw this dog and he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna steal all this money. But disabled, formerly homeless vet Richard Osthoff, Nazi name, so that's probably also another reason Santos stole from him. Osthoff, didn't that guy do experiments in like Dachau or something? Showed up to federal court in central Islip and watched as his nemesis got hit with a hefty prison sentence, even after turning on the waterworks for the judge. Yeah, I don't think judges watch people like go like a full black lady in church when they get like a speeding ticket or something, right? Like a dude gets a ticket for $250 and he's like doing backflips onto the ground, like onto his back and like just shaking up and down like a toddler, like a spoiled ass toddler on the ground screaming. He watches dudes do that for fucking like parking tickets and stuff. I don't think he gives a fuck that like this gay and probably all this like retarded boomer judge, because I do imagine he is a retarded boomer or like a chick, in which case you're fucked either way. But I do imagine that this is just an incredibly annoying, like generally like, non-thinking type of person, right? Like that's kind of the whole point of a judge. You don't really think. Your whole job is to just carry out like the duties, is to just follow the law to a T. Like that's the whole point of a judge. But this guy was probably like, jail, have fun. You're gay anyway. You're probably gonna have fucking fun in there. So Santos didn't get his way, dude. Boo-hoo Santos. But Osthoff, who claimed Santos helped him launch a GoFundMe for his dog and then swindled him out of $3,000 raised, accused the wayward, openly gay ex-Long Island Republican of putting on an emotional show in a bid to get a more lenient sentence. Hey, whoever wrote this article, whatever mean little bitch wrote this, Brandon Cruz and Priscilla DeGregory. Brandon Cruz is definitely like a gay Puerto Rican guy. He fucking, let me read that again. Osthoff, who claimed Santos helped him launch a GoFundMe for his dog and then swindled him out of the $3,000 raised, accused the wayward, openly gay ex-Long Island Republican of putting on an emotional show to get in a bid to get a more lenient sentence. That can only be constructed by a gay mind. Like a truly, like, you might think a woman might be able to construct that sentence, but like that one, it's just like a woman can like construct a really mean sentence, but like this guy, he can just like go one step above that where it's like, I'm just saying words. I'm just saying like facts. These are just like literal facts that I'm saying, but like the way he like put it, even reading it, I'm like, oh, this nasty motherfucker, this mean ass bitch, dude. Come on. This guy needs to be president. He's just a gay Mexican Donald Trump. Just like, because Donald Trump is really good at doing that, where sometimes he'll get really mean, but sometimes he'll like hover like just above being mean. But like you're like, I know you want to say something, but goddamn, he destroyed Santos with that. But Santos is the type of guy who just wants some fucking fun. He didn't steal that $3,000 because he needed it. He wasn't like living in a trailer and he was like, oh fuck, I need to pay my landlord. No, he just stole that for the fun of it. He was like, yeah, I don't want to help your dog anymore, and he just stole it from him. And I applaud Santos for that. That, once again, like that woman and like the Jews in Israel, that is true bravery. And I think that this was the Stoned-Sode. I think that's what this was. I'm not too high. I don't know. I guess I didn't get too high, but especially when I'm talking like this, my brain, like I've done enough of this to where I can kind of go into autopilot. Not autopilot, but like that type of state of mind. And it's like no matter what, I can like get in that state of mind. And so it usually takes me a while. If you've ever listened to this, you know it usually takes me a minute for the first time. Like, oh yeah, and then I just nonstop pronouncing words incorrectly constantly. That's what it is. But yeah, I think that's the Stoned-Sode. It wasn't as as fun and exciting as I thought it was gonna be, but I don't know. I feel like it's as good as usual. I don't. Good is once again relatively good. It's all bad, but relatively good. It's like this is a pile of shit that came from like a cow and not a pig. You know what I mean? That's what this is. But I think that's the end of this episode. The weekend's coming up. Hope you have a good weekend. It's tomorrow. I guess, last class on Friday and to work on Friday. That's already the weekend. So I guess it is the weekend if you're listening to this right now. And you aren't, because no one is. No one's listening at this point. But yeah, I hope you have a good day, good week, good year, good life. And this was the Stoned-Sode. It wasn't very chill because I'm like a chill guy most of the time. But like if I have to talk to someone, it's going on 100. But yeah. All right, I'll see you guys on Sunday. 2 days.